All right now. So you guys asked me earlier about getting a Chevy Corvette, possibly a Stingray, what my recommendations were. So decided to actually make a video. I'm actually gonna post this on YouTube, make it public as well. So, but this is specifically for my friends and brothers in Christ, Ebony and Derek. Just want to share with you guys some different options, and of course, I don't have the right answer. You guys ultimately make the final decision, but just wanted to share with you some of the differences from the rich, the wealthy, and just from those that have a high income, right, every year. And this is a question that a lot of families, a lot of husbands and wives ask every day, every year, when it comes down to purchasing a new vehicle or just making any large purchase. So just want to share with you guys some of my thoughts. So as we discussed, we were looking at, let's see here. I don't know if you can see my laptop, but all right. So we're looking at Chevrolet Corvettes, right? So one of the first things we discussed was that we're looking at a used one. I think that was actually $30,000 or $40,000. So as we can see here on the website, let me see if I can zoom in. They start off at $55,000. As shown, you can see it's roughly 60 grand. The cheapest brand new Corvette, we'll look up and see that over here, I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, you'll see here is actually 55. Well, we already talked about that, about the 60 grand. But you also notice here 460 horsepower. Now, guys, just to share with you, I have a 2010 Porsche Panamera 4S. It does not have 460 horsepower, and I can tell you that 0 to 60 time is 4 seconds with that guy. So here we can see this is 0 to 60 in about 3.7 seconds, right? I don't know if it shows the top speed on this guy or not. But 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, I mean, you're talking about a Lamborghini, Ferrari, those type vehicles. And this is just the cheapest version available, right? So if we actually look at the top end Chevy Corvette, see, step back so the screen doesn't look too crazy for you. But if we look at the top end, it's the Corvette ZR1, right? It's 120 grand or something like that, which for what you're getting is really chump change when you just looking at sheerly the engine and the car. Okay, it's $121,000. You're getting 750 horsepower, 755 horsepower. 0 to 60 time under 3 seconds. I mean, that's just flat out. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, you're already at 70 plus. And a top track speed of 212 miles an hour. So, I mean, this is the vehicle that we're talking about here, right? So any one of these cars, from the cheapest available to the most expensive, will get you to where you're going very quickly, right? And we're talking, what, maybe just 10, 20 years ago, these are Lamborghini numbers, Ferrari numbers, McLaren numbers, right? And I'm not sure, but don't quote me on this. Even if you looked at today's number, those vehicles would be hard pressed to beat 750. I don't think the new Lamborghinis make 750. Matter of fact, I think the McLaren's about 500, and the Lamborghini Huracan at least is around 600. And same thing with the Audi. The Audi R8, the V10 is around 500 or 600 horsepower. So I mean, you are in some very exotic company already with this vehicle. But to answer your question, right? So, and this could be any car, guys. So, it doesn't have to be a Chevrolet Corvette. We're talking, it could be a Mercedes-Benz S550, right? E-Class is going to start in 60 grand. They're going to go up to 100 plus K. When you look at Audi, same thing. Your A6, A7, they're all going to be in that 60 to 100K price range, up to 120, right? So this is any luxury car nowadays, right? So wrote up some options here, right? And so when we look at it, right, we got roughly $60,000, right? And so you guys shared with me that you wanted to put 10K down, right? So I'm doing these numbers, guys, off of Hawaii, right? Of course. So obviously in other markets, this would be a lot more feasible than say here in Hawaii and a lot more easier to do. But first thing I looked at, as you can see right here, I said, fix and flip 2 houses, right? So very simple, right? You buy a $300,000 property, right? I like to write for some reason. I don't have a whiteboard with me where I'm at. So I'm just trying to take advantage of sitting open houses. Kind of slow, so. But if we'll look here, okay, right? So we got a $300,000 house. 300K. And let's say we know realistically this guy is worth about maybe, let's say 370 or 380, right? But it's in the original condition, right? So let's say it was built in the 1980s, 1990s, haven't really been upgraded since. It's structurally sound, but it just needs to be upgraded, right? So if you guys look at the kitchen I'm in now, right? This looks very modern. Got some nice tiling. I don't know if you can actually see the LED lights up here, but just things like that, right? That just makes it look modern, nice floor pattern there, right? So it just looks modern. So you're gonna modernize this property here, right? And let's just go conservative. It's gonna cost you about 30 grand in this, right? So you got 30 grand tied up in this guy. And let's say you use conventional loan. But there are some FHA loans also that help you take out money as well for rehabbing this property, right? So let's say you put 30 grand into it. Now you've got, let's say roughly about 40K in there, because let's say you put 10K down, right? Which is not quite necessary. We need 3%. It's a little less than 10K. But just for the purposes of the number, let's say you got 40K into this. So now you're sitting at 340, right? With this property, right, you're not going to pay anything on the buyer's side to get in this property, right? Because the seller is always going to pay the buyer's agent, right? But you're going to take out roughly about 6% on this guy. So you're looking at, let's see, to sell it, man, I can't do math anymore. 300,000, you're looking at, let's see, 10, 30, 15. Sorry, my mind's not working today. So let's just make it easy. I'm going to just pull up my handy dandy calculator so I can give you these numbers correct. So let's say the typical commission is going to be 6%, right? So you're going to pay roughly about 20,400. Yeah. So you're going to pay roughly about 20,000 in commission costs, right? And so now you're at 360. So now on a very conservative basis, you're going to sell this guy either for 370 on a very conservative basis now, right? You're going to sell for 370, pocket almost 10 grand, right? But realistically, what's more probably going to happen is you're going to really get 380 to 400, depending on where on the island you are. And you're going to pocket 10 to 30 grand on this. Now, this is very conservative, right? This is a very tight squeeze, which really a lot of times you find there's investors that do this, and really these numbers go anywhere from about 20 on the low end up to almost 100K on the high end, right? But you did 10 to 30 grand here just on one fix and flip, right? And this is in a matter of what, maybe 2 to 3 months tops, right? Now, you went from 10K, now you've got, let's say 20 to 30 grand, right? But we'll go very conservative. So now you got 20 grand, right? So now you do the same thing again. You net the same thing, right? 10, 30K. So now 6 months later, now you've actually got what, 30 to 40 grand sitting in the bank, right? And so with that 30 to 40 grand sitting in the bank, now that you flip the properties, I would recommend just going and getting a bigger property where now maybe next time you net 50K instead of 10 or 20K, right? That's one option. But two, you could also do option number 4 here, which we're going to talk about. We're going to actually skip around a little bit. But with that 30, 40K, right, we could actually go here to option 4, which is putting $10,000 in a Forex trading account, right? So if you're actively, and you can actually pay for a course, maybe $400 or $500, right? It doesn't cost a lot of money, but If you let's say you have $10,000 in a forex trading account, you're averaging 5% a month right here, right? That's going to give you about roughly about $500 a month, and that's going to cut your payment in half for that Corvette, right? Because you got 60K a month. Sorry, not 60K a month. $60,000 for, let's say, 5 or 6 years, right? That's going to cost you roughly about $1,000 to maybe $1,200 a month. So just assuming it's $1,000, right? Let's say you just got excellent credit, you're going to be cutting off that with the $500 a month. Well, if you multiply this times 3, right? Because now you got 30K in the forex trading account, same 5%. Now this is $1,500 a month. That's covering your entire payment for your car, as well as insurance as well, right? So those are a couple options. Then option number 2, fix, rent 2 houses, cash out, refinance, use that to pay for the car, right? So here we're going to do the same thing, right? We're going to take this property and we're going to get it for $300K. We're going to put the $30K in it, right? And you, like I said, there's FHA loans. You guys are aware of this, right? Or a private investment, whatever. You can find this money if you really want to, right? All you got to do is show them the property, and investors, banks, and things, show them that what you want to do to it. They'll give you the money. You make the payments. Not a big deal, right? So same thing. You get the same property, 300, 330. You put that in. You renovate the property, right? But now, since you renovated it, you can rent it at market price, right? And so something like this is not going to get you anything measured. Here in Hawaii, it's going to be maybe 2 bed, 1 bath, right? Maybe 700-800 square feet, right? Closet, more or less, compared to some places, right? But the point of the matter is, you can still easily get $1,500 to $2,000 a month for this. Very easy. I mean, it's not being very dramatic, right? So realistically, you could probably get closer to $2,000 a month for this guy. That's not unrealistic here in this market, right? So, but your mortgage payment for this guy is not going to be $2,000. So, mortgage payment for, let's say, and I'm all using the calculators just to make it a little more, let's say, realistic, right? Using all the calculators online. So let's see, mortgage calculator. So I'm thinking this is probably going to be $1,500-$1,600 for a mortgage payment like that. Oh, wow. That's perfect. So let's see. We're going to put nothing down. We got a 5% interest rate, 30 years. Our payment, we can see right here, just the first website, mortgagecalculator.com. You'll see we put, where we go right here. We're going to put 0 money down, right? So we're going to say no money down. We're going to calculate what it is. See if it shows me. At a 5% interest rates, property tax. Now all these guys are not, I guess you could say, accurate for our market. But I can tell you it's going to be a little less than $2,000. But with this payment, with everything what's set in there, you got roughly about $2,000 a month. But even at $2,000 a month, right? We'll say we'll go with that, right? Because really, $2,000 is going to get you $400,000, and I know that based on some of my current clients that I have and what their mortgage payment is for the loans that they have, and they have $400,000 loans, and their payment is right at $2,000. So, but let's say you break even, right? But this is only, let's say, year 1, right? And you've added value to your property by renovating it, right? So even with that, if you're just breaking even, right, not making any money, excuse me, then you keep this. But now, let's say your tenants, let's say with the new value of your property, let's say you can get it for $360, $370, or whatever, right? The bank gives you $370, right? You only have, what, $330 in there? So now you could do what's called a cash out refinance. So now you cash out refinance. Maybe this payment goes to $21 a month or something like that. But now you got 40 G's, right? You got 40 G's, but now you still have your tenants paying you $2,000 a month, right? But you're in the hole for $100 a month, right? But for $40,000, right? And you're gaining equity, right? So your tenants are paying down your equity year after year, right? You already renovated the place, so it's going to be good for at least the next 10 years, right? While this value is going to continue to go up. But now you got 40 G's in the bank, cash, no taxes on it, and you're paying $100 a month for it, right? Now you take this 40 G's, right? And once again, you plug it back into option 4. So option 4, once again, you put it in your Forex trading account, but now we're multiplying this. Now you're getting $2,000 a month at 5% per month, right? So now you're more than exceeding your payments, and now you got excess, right? Maybe you can pay for the gas for the car as well. But at 40 G's, another magical thing happens is you can actually go down here to option 5, and option 5 starts to become a little bit larger, right? So now Hawaiian Electric, very conservative, right? Let's say you don't really understand Forex trading or stock trading, or you're just too busy or not interested, right? Then Hawaiian Electric here, right? And this could be any utility company, any company that pays consistent dividends, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, right? And they offer 3% return every quarter. So every 3 months, they pay you 3% of however many stocks you own, right? So let's say you got $10,000 in there. That means every 3 months you'd be getting $300 just for owning that stock, right? Or roughly $1,200 a year. But when you multiply that by 40 G's, well, now you got 40 G's in here. So now this 300 is going multiplying times 4. Uh-oh, out of focus. Okay. So yeah, this 300 now is going to go to what? 1,200 every 3 months, right? So every 3 months you're getting $1,200. You'll multiply that times 4. Now you're getting 48. This is going to become $4,800 a year. So $4,800 per year, that's not bad, right? Coming in just from having your 40 grand stacked up, just from fixing the properties, renting them out. So now you got, let's say, one property, right? Paying you, or let's say even with the overpriced mortgage payment, you paying $100 a month for one property, but you're gaining equity. You're controlling 40 grand, right? You put that 40 grand in and getting the dividends, right? Because you say you don't understand the Forex exchange market, you don't understand the stock market. So with that, now you're still getting almost $5,000 a year, right? Coming in from that. And then if you decide to, you could wait a year or 2 years. And this is, we're not talking about you making any extra money or any extra money you're saving. We're just talking about the current money that you got, right? So now you're saving almost $5 grand a year. You can do what you want with that, but that's going to help you utilize your money rather than just buying the car outright and leaving that 10 grand sitting in the bank, not earning anything, not doing anything, right? So next thing I recommended as well was number 3, right? So maybe you just get the vehicle, but then you rent the vehicle out on Turo once a month at a ridiculous price to help offset the payment, right? So we said your payment is going to be roughly $1,200 a month, right? So realistically, a car like that, I mean, you got a nice Chevrolet Corvette, not unrealistic to ask for $150 a day or something like that. All you need is somebody what come through once a month, maybe rent it out for 6-7 days, right? That's going to cover up it's going to cover up a large chunk of the payment, right? So yeah, so that's going to cover up a large chunk of payment. So if you get somebody to come through there once a month, right, rent your vehicle out for a week, right? Maybe that's a week you're working hard or whatever, right? Really focus. It's a rainy week. You don't care about driving the car that week anyways. Then you almost got someone paying your payment for you just from renting out once a week, right? That's what I was doing with my car as well. So I was basically driving it for free on the weekends, renting out during the week, and broke even, right? So just wanted to share these things with you. I'm going to flip the camera back around. Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to share these things with you because, hey, trust me, nobody wants a new car, or no one enjoys new cars, especially exotic cars, more than myself. I mean, you guys already know. Like I said, I'm making this a video on YouTube as well, so I'll show them just because they haven't had an opportunity to see it. But I don't know if you can see behind me, but I'll pan it. But you guys will see what's parked here, right? It's a nice Porsche Panamera. So, um, trust me, nobody enjoys nice cars, I would say, more than me. But I still recommend being wise about how you spend your money on it because after experiencing having nice cars, exotic cars, and you guys have shared this yourself, they are expensive to fix. And I don't care if it costs $500,000 or if it costs $30,000. One day it will get old. One day you will not care about that vehicle anymore, and one day you will be ready for a new vehicle, as you already know. But you want to make sure that you don't put so much money down into the vehicle that you could have been investing somewhere else where 5 to 10 years later, you don't have that vehicle anymore and the money's gone as well. You want to have your money here and the vehicles come and go, right? So you want to put the least amount of money you can into a vehicle, or you want to make sure that whatever invested vehicle you use, and those are just a few that I thought of off the top of my head. You just want to think that whatever the investment vehicle is, you want your investment vehicle to be the returns from it, the profits, right? The pure cash on cash return that you're getting, you want that to be high enough to offset the cost of the vehicle that you're getting, right? And so it's not easy, it's not fun. A lot more times than not, it takes a little bit more patience, right, than what most people want, right? But if you actually discipline yourself, you actually take the time, wait it out, maybe wait an extra year or two and make those investments, then later on you can get that car with no regrets. You can pay for it cash. You can really never, you should never really pay for cash unless you just have that type of money to throw away. But you could, get a loan on it, 60 years, 70 months, not 60 years, 60 month or 70 month term on it. And that payment will be offset by the returns you're receiving from your investments. And that is really how the rich and the wealthy do it, right? They don't just work and say, oh, well, I can make this payment because I'm making 10, 20, 30 grand a month. They go, okay, well, how do I make 10, 20, 30 grand a month passively without being trading my time exactly for all of those dollars, right? Because there's no such thing as 100% passive income like some people will tell you, but there are a lot of semi-passive incomes where you're not required to be there on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week basis, and you're not required to put in 60 hours a week for that money to come, if that makes sense. So hope that helps you out, guys. Like I said, this video is dual purpose, is for my brothers and sisters in Christ, Ebony and Derek, but also I want to make a YouTube video out of it as well because I feel a lot of people could benefit from hearing this information. So please subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Let me know any other questions you have. I believe I got my contact information on as well, so feel free to reach out for me if you are in the Hawaii area looking to buy a home or need some help with selling your home. I'm happy to help, and I happily take referrals as well. So even if you are anywhere in the continental U.S., I can help you find an agent that'll look out for your best interests. Or if you know somebody that's coming here to Hawaii, once again, I'm happy to help them. All right, thank you so much.